If you have not watched my first video on this nail hammer at the beginning, the first of 2026, Happy New Year to you guys again. And here I am with another easy care video for recently imported Vandas and how you acclimate it to your home surroundings. Let me get straight to the point at hand by explaining to you the vigorous process these Vandas go through before being exported. Before going through a 48-hour drying period, these Vandas have been sprayed with pesticides and fungicides along a month period at different intervals to keep any kind of pest or fungal attack at bay. Then these have been prepared for export, in my case from Thailand, by cleaning and staking, removing media. When it comes to Vandas, that does not apply because there are no media on Vanda. Generally orchids go through all that process, and once those processes are fulfilled, they are individually wrapped in some cases or packed with packing peanuts or stripped newspaper when they are put into boxes. So with a lot of cushioning so that the plants are not crushed or damaged, they are sent to their expected country. Once they go through all the customs and logistics and all that, they are being brought by the seller to the seller's house, where they are required to take these plants, these orchids, through another period of quarantining. Right? There are specifications which have been sent from Thailand to the seller on how to take care of the Vandas or other orchids when they are brought here. During that time only, if a specific type of Vanda or an orchid has gone through a stress, some sort of stress, that they will show signs. So for 1.5 weeks, the seller had my orchids, which I had to exclude one of the Vandas, which is a pine river, a pink big flower, due to yellowing of leaf tips, which can be fungal or bacterial, or just mainly because it was stuck inside a box or pressed too tightly inside the box. I will never know. So those type of things can happen, and new leaf losses or root rots can happen once you get them to your home also. Let me tell you how I avoided all that, and with proof. Once I got them, I had this place as their permanent hanging place, right? Windows half open, only get filtered sun in the morning and in the afternoon again, in the evening. Okay, and here they will hang. I hung them, and what I did was I went and tightened these hangers, because the hangers were only added by the local seller, which these were imported to reduce weight without hangers. They have inserted from here and there, but that's okay, because the local seller cannot try to insert these hangers through the specific places, because roots have already taken a hold of many of those slots. That's okay. You just need to tighten this and make sure the plant is securely within the hanger, because when it comes without the hanger, there is more chance for it to get loose from here. But if there is a huge root bulb like this, that will not happen, right? But anyway, it's better to handle it and balance it from the top part also, so the plant will not topple over. Once that is done, I left it here for a few hours. Then what I did was, as the only time that I moved them from here, I took these to the nearby bathroom and I placed them all under the shower. I hung them under the shower for 5 to 6 minutes, because I knew more than that would not be profitable, because only half or less than half of what I showered on was absorbed due to the extreme dehydration that the plants are still under, because they dried the roots very well to not introduce any bacterial or fungal damage. Afterwards, I let them drain and I brought them here and I hung them. Then what I did was, I inspected the root bulb especially for already dried up roots, and I inspected for any root tips which are new that are not scratched. You will understand why at the end of the video or later in the video. Let's carry on. Thereafter, I let it be. I got this in the evening, but since the roots were dry and my air quality in this home is very dry, I could spray again in the night. And again I sprayed in the night, as I told you, like this, all along the plant and all along the root bulb. And this is just good quality water, right? You can Google how you prepare good quality water if the water quality in your area is not that good. And I left it be, because I knew with the air that is coming through these slots, because the windows are half open, they will get dried. The following day, I did not take this to the shower, I just sprayed water with this same sprayer. After spraying, I left it alone until it get dried again for another 3 to 4 hours. So along the day, I kept spraying this, right? And what I showed you earlier, that's enough, right? It doesn't have to be, I have to get drenched, because I'm keeping this inside. I don't want the floors or the window sills to get dirty. I'm keeping this right here right now for the filming purpose. Otherwise, I do not have anything here, just a carpet down on the tile floor that is made out of cloth, which would absorb all the water. That is my procedure for a week, okay, and I'm not spraying anything else. One thing the seller told me was, before they sent it to me, they sprayed a bloom booster. Maybe they sprayed it once or maybe they sprayed it twice. So I know that they have sprayed it, and they have also been told not to spray any fungicides or pesticides on this, because those have been covered by the importer, the exporter themselves, the nursery in Thailand. But now it has been almost a month since the plants have come to Sri Lanka. Now I can spray a fungicide or a pesticide to keep them, away from any kind of damage. What I did was I sprayed some baking soda, diluted water. Right, I have made a video, you guys can go and see that. It's just below 2-3 videos. There are so many benefits of baking soda, which is really good for orchids. I'm not going to explain here because the video will get longer. You guys can go and watch that video. So after a week, I also sprayed a bloom booster because these are blooming size plants. Though they seem small because of the hybridized parents characteristics, right? You guys know Vanda Mimi Palmer crosses are very small. Some are big, like this Kyra green, and this is their permanent place of residing, because these Vandas, these Mimi Palmer crosses only require morning filtered sunlight, and once I introduce these to an hour of medium strength raining that was happening here, because I ultimately want to introduce them to the outside Vandas. Maybe I'll keep them here, I wouldn't know, but if this situation gets darker and darker and more rain happens, I have to introduce these to artificial light source. For that, I usually, what I do is I will put them outside, so they will get much more better sun than this. But during the morning, mind you guys, don't misunderstand this. This spot gets very good sun, which is required, and that is why I am keeping it here. That's all that it needs. Occasionally you can introduce it to the rain, as I told you, but do not introduce it to the first day rain itself. Let it rain 2 to 3 days, and then on the 4th day or the 5th day you can put them, because the water quality, rainwater quality at that time would be really good of pH, because during the first days of raining it is said to be pouring out a lot of heavy metals, which might not be very good for your Vandas. So rounding up, get your plants, hang them on the specific spot that you have chosen, tighten the hangers, check for old roots, dried up roots, roots that are on the way, new root tips. Do not remove any dried up leaves or roots, let them fall off on their own. Do not introduce new tissue damage. That is why I am saying that. Water them and then let them dry. Keep on watering until they get out of dehydration situation. Every 3 to 4 hours you can do that, and make sure in between waterings these dry and a lot of air is moved among the roots. And on the second week you can fertilize with a bloom booster to enhance a new spike, but I do not recommend you spraying all along the stem if you are spraying the fertilizer, but only on the bulb to keep the leaves clean for more photosynthesis and less mineral or salt buildups, and you will be fine. Try to trigger blooming, because that is your main goal here, and along the way when they are blooming you can take off the spike if you think the bottom leaves are getting yellow. So you can be on whichever the fertilizer scheme that you prefer, that you are used to. If they are blooming, I of course fertilize them even in a low strength. But here especially I have to tell you, if you want blooms, as I have been told, please spray the recommended dosage in the bottle to your plants. Dilute it on the previous day if they are salt crystals, if they are powder in the powdery form. If they are liquid, you can dilute it half an hour early. However, do not just dilute and spray, because none of the crystals will be optimally applied, because they are not diluted. The fertilizer will not be optimally used or utilized by the plant if you do not dilute it properly. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye, because it's getting so noisy. God bless you.